And like I said, I think things are. I think this is the chapter where we pull it. We pull out of the concrete swan dive that we've been on. Like I said, things are in the very capable hands of one Keiichi Maibara, who is shown time and time again. He has nothing but the most exemplary decision-making abilities. So if anyone's going to get us out of this mess, you can bet it's going to be your boy K1. That's what I'm thinking. So instead of me sitting here blabbing, let's go ahead and get right into the good decision-making. You're reheating leftover boiled beef and spicy Szechuan sauce. So you're doing good. You're doing good. It's good that you can taste that. That's fantastic. Alright, let's get it going. I went home and washed the day's sweat off in the shower. Normally I'd reset everything by taking a shower and forgetting all the bad things, but that didn't happen today. I got out of the shower to find fresh underwear placed neatly in the laundry basket. Normally I didn't stop to think about it, but today I felt happy at my mother's consideration. At the same time, however, it made me realize how much Satoko must be suffering. My underwear! My clean underwear made me realize how much Satoko must be suffering. At the very moment I was appreciating the gentle kindness, Satoko might be bruised by her uncle's cruel words. I went up to the second floor and shut myself in my bedroom. Then, facing my desk, I folded my arms. My topic of thought, of course, was Satoko. A walking ball of short-sightedness. It's all clear from here, right, John? Yeah, always trust John Thayer, no matter what he says, by the way. We thought that if we could just get a public agency to intervene in the right way, the problem would be solved. But what the coach said, I didn't think it would be so easy. Satoko was obstinate, and she would stubbornly deny the abuse and try to endure it. And that was an act of atonement toward Satoshi, who had protected her before and then ran away. As long as she thought that way, the situation wouldn't be so simple. Kate, she just pouts. But earlier, before Coach, I made a clear declaration. If I thought Satoko was in danger, then I would do what I had to. In the end, that man, I was going to wait and see too. Nevertheless, I thought I'd drawn a clearer line than Coach or my friends had. If the time came, I would report it. Over the phone. Given Satoko's personality, she might criticize me if she found out, but I believed it was ultimately the best decision. Wait, Keiichi Maibara, would that really be all it took for the problem to end? Say that I reported it to a public agency, like the Child Consultation Center. What if they stuck to their wait-and-see attitude like last year again? Last year they decided to do just that and the situation improved temporarily, but then the aunt, thinking herself a laughingstock, increased her tormenting in secret. In the end, things became more underhanded than ever before. I should also point out, again, a content warning, this arc is about child abuse. There's no way to sugarcoat that. I can't sit here and try to make those things entertaining. It's just a part of this story. I can promise you that we do find a way out. It's just not going to be pretty getting there. And it's not exploitative. It's just telling a very real story that's a little hard to deal with if you're sensitive to those types of issues. So just putting that out there up front. In the end, things became more underhanded than ever before. This year it was her uncle. I had just seen him for the first time today, but the man seemed much more direct, much more violent than the word underhanded could imply. He wasn't like their aunt, no, not that subtle. He was more direct. He might also assault her with punches and kicks. That could easily be discerned from the bruises such I saw on Satoko's body. Shit, you are too naive, Keiichi Maibara. However heroic it may seem to report what was happening, if it doesn't save her, then it doesn't mean anything. Reporting things to a public agency was only one option, and leaving everything to them would be dangerous. We would need something more to guarantee Satoko's safety. I scratched madly at my head, thinking, and then tilted back, wanting at least a little bit calm. Wanting at least a little bit of calm. There we go. There's the words. The memories of angry arguing with my friends today came to mind. I was embarrassed that I hadn't realized it until Rena said something. She was right. My house is big. Compared to all the houses with the straw thatched roofs in Hinamizawa, it was really big. We did actually have empty rooms. I've never thought that we were affluent, but also never really poor. I just didn't admit it because people would think I was arrogant. But maybe my family really was wealthy. We had a few rooms we could lend Satoko. The guest rooms are only in use when people related to my dad's job came over to stay for once in a while. Plus, if we cleaned up a few of the rooms my dad uses for storage, they could work for her as well. As for food expenses, that might have been a more serious problem than a kid like me could imagine. Lunch every day would be manageable. All of our friends would just have to bring a little bit more of lunch than they usually did. With everyone pecking at everyone else's food anyway, it would be manageable. For breakfast and dinner, though, that would have to be up to Mom. I would need to convince her to lend Satoko more than just a room. Of course, I don't even think convincing her that would be easy. About how much did it cost for one person to eat? How many tens of thousands of yen per month? They couldn't complain about it if I shouldered that, could they? I only had 10 or 20,000 yen in savings, but it was something. I actually had even more thanks to New Year's gifts and such, but my parents had taken all that and put it into a fixed time deposit. If I could get access to that, it should add up to a lot of money. And if I got that far, Mion and Rena would need to share some of the burden. Of course, that didn't seem like it would work. Rena got mad at me, didn't she? About how I shouldn't just shove responsibility onto others. I'd have to ask for help. Even so, I'd basically be saving her myself. I would follow through on it. Oh, but it wouldn't be only food expenses. There were a lot of other things that you couldn't do without, like baths and laundry. My mother was awfully methodical and strict about cutting out inefficiencies, and for once, that was troublesome. She might even make reference to the money it would cost for the detergent Satoko would use for her own clothes. I couldn't think only about food expenses. I needed more money. Hey, wait, Keiichi Maebara. Since when was all this about money? Even if you could afford it, you would need your parents' permission first. They'd looking after a young girl for a really long time. What would I say to persuade them? Just calm down a little bit, Keiichi Maebara, and you'll realize right away that you can't. Even if you ask them seriously, they would tell you to call the police. Even if you manage to gain their empathy, why should the Maebara family have to shoulder all the burden by itself? That's what would happen. That was it. It was very sad and frustrating, but no matter how much I wanted to help, my resolution alone couldn't save anything.
そんなにも子供って無力なのかよ。
Yeah, they kinda are, Keiichi. I felt frustrated. I believe my feelings were stronger than anyone else's. I even thought they were stronger than the coach's. And yet, at that point, there were 2 knocks at my door, and Mom poked her head inside.
起きてたの？さっきからご飯ってずっと呼んでるわよ。
あ、うん。今行く。
As someone financially dependent on his parents, I shouldn't say this, but I just sat around doing nothing, and food suddenly appeared. It felt so natural to me that I had shamelessly thought of it as a responsibility of the parents who gave birth to me. But when I realized that natural thing was actually a privilege, I came to realize just how hard it was to grant that privilege to others. Even the boring meal in front of me, no better than it ever was, had more meaning than that tonight. There was food for 3 on a table right now for Dad, Mom, and for me. I couldn't imagine how hard it would be to add another place at the table. Think, Keiichi Maebara, if it was hard to make food for 4, then just think about 4 people could eat food made for 3. Think about how 4 people could eat food made for 3. I changed around the way I thought, and with that I began to consider an unthinkably bold plan. That's right, I didn't need to get my parents' permission. She should just live here in secret. Keiichi, you're... Oh boy. I got upset when I found out a while ago, but if I remembered right, if you climbed out the window, then shimmied down the first floor roof of the gutter, you could go in and out of the house directly from my room. Satoko's physical ability far surpassed my own, so it would be even easier for her. Yeah, I know, right? Like, actually calling out his own privilege is actually an interesting thing. Again, you don't expect that from a 2003 visual novel. And yeah, like, this is a real bad plan. I hadn't even thought about it, but her living here secretly was actually a necessity. I'd only have to bring Satoko to my house when the public agency said they would wait and see. In other words, if Satoko's uncle continued to be her guardian, if in such a situation word got out that she was here, her uncle would barge in and drag Satoko back with him. Her uncle was a rightful guardian, so my parents would hand her over without an argument, no doubt. So I needed to keep it a secret that she was living here. If it needs to be secret, then having my parents' help would mean a lot, but you gotta deceive your allies first, like they always say. Oh, this is such a bad plan! Yeah, he's going through every single possibility. Like, he's going through every stage of desperation right now. He is just machine gunning through all of them. Okay, persuading my parents was an unrealistic proposition, so I'll search for a way for her to live here in secret. When I was around, she would just have to be really quiet in my room on the second floor. The issue was the daytime. If she was hiding from her uncle, then she shouldn't go to school. It might be lonely, but not going would be a better option. That's not gonna work. That is just the most not work part of the plan. I could easily teach Satoko the stuff she learns in her grade. Actually, during school, I mostly help all the younger kids out rather than study my own stuff. During the day, I would need to go to school, so I wouldn't be at home. My parents respected my privacy now that I was this age, so they wouldn't go snooping around my room while I was gone. I think. If she holed herself up in my room, it would be okay, right? If my parents did come, thanks to where the second floor was, she could hear their approach from the sound of them coming up the stairs, and there would be a little bit of time before they got all the way up. I estimated a few seconds, and that she would be able to hide herself in the closet. Hey Nate, welcome. How's it going? Hope the evening is treating you well. Great teacher, my bar. GTM. Wait, Kenichi. Something doesn't make sense. If she can't go to school, then what'll she do for lunch? Calm down already. I could just leave her my own lunch, couldn't I? I should just go to school without lunch and get everyone else to split theirs with me. Okay, that's good. No more contradictions or oversights, right? Oh, breakfast and dinner. I could somehow get her to go without breakfast. I can go 2 meals a day when I sleep on Sundays, after all. Every night I'd pretend as though I had a bigger appetite, then ask for a bigger helping. And then I could just somehow give part of that to Satoko. You're literally treating her like a secret dog! As a test, I stood up from my seat with a plate of fish in my hands.
どうしたのケイチ？ご飯は座って食べなさい。
ちょっと気分が変えたくなってさ。自分の部屋で食べてもいいかな。
ボロボロ落として汚すぞ。食事は食卓で食べなさい。
ごめん。
Hey, wait. I only tried to take away 1 plate of fish and they ganged up on me. In reality, it was impossible for me to smuggle food away without my parents knowing about it, but it must have been worth taking the time to think about. There must be some trick, some method to avoid them realizing. Even if I can't think of one today, I might think of one tomorrow. My appetite was rapidly fading, so I finished early and went back to my room. I went back there and tried to think of it from Satoko's point of view. For example, let's say my parents were coming up the stairs right now. I've got to hide. I opened the closet. I couldn't open it quietly. Hey, wait, didn't it always open real smooth and quiet? Why was it suddenly this way now? What is this? A faulty house? Had it already gotten old or something? Or was I just not putting enough work into it? Could I just plaster it with wax? The sound itself may have been soft, but it left me uneasy as to whether my parents would detect it happening when they climbed the stairs. But this was an easy problem. I could do something about it. I just had to fix it up a little bit so it didn't make noise anymore. For now, I'll close myself in the closet as though I'd successfully hid. I basically always left my futon out on the floor. I couldn't think of any real reason my parents would want to go into my closet. Even so, there still might be some reason they would. I might need to construct some sort of camouflage so that she wouldn't be noticed even if they did open it. But the more she worried about that, the less time she'd have to actually hide, meaning it would be more likely they'd hear a noise. And then I suddenly got to the bathroom. The bathroom! The need to use the toilet. So obvious, and yet such a fatal flaw. The only bathroom was on the first floor. Whoops! We didn't think this out at all! It would be absolutely impossible for her to use it without my family realizing. I might need to set up a portable toilet, like a chamber pot, I guess. Satoko would hate it, or she could just go in my room. Oh god. But the stench would be pretty terrible. Anyone sensitive would probably notice the smell without even coming into the room. The bath was okay, though. She could just take a bath when my parents were out, but I couldn't do anything about a toilet. When her stomach started to hurt, if my parents were lazing about downstairs, she'd be in trouble. And it was then that I noticed that I had been clawing at my head with both hands. I sat down at the desk, I sat down in the dark closet with my knees against my chest. I buried my face in them and tore at my hair. The more I thought, the more contradictions popped up. The more I thought, the more things failed. And the more I worried, the more I was reminded of how little power I actually had. My back started to hurt from staying in a cramped place for so long. But if it was to shelter Satoko, I would need to force her to feel this pain. To live in such a dark, narrow, suffocating place forever. But it would still be better than being abused by her uncle, or so I wanted to think. It got hard to breathe, so I gave in and crawled out of the closet. I looked at the clock, and to my surprise, it was 3:30 in the morning. It had felt like so little time, but it was unbelievably long. When I realized that, I was slammed with a terrible urge to sleep, as the time had only just caught up with me. I didn't have enough strength to fight it, and I fell flat onto my futon. Shit, I can't just go to sleep like this. If I waste any time, that'll mean I'm taking the same wait-and-see attitude that Mion and Coach and everyone else did. I need to keep worrying about how to rescue Satoko for a minute, even for a second longer, than everyone else. Isn't there a better way? Isn't there a better way? That's one phrase I spoke to myself, swirled around in a spiral, and steadily took over my entire mind. For the last moment of consciousness, I thought. There were a lot of blind spots in what I'd considered tonight, but I absolutely wasn't wrong for having those ideas. Tomorrow I would suggest this bold plan to the others. Mion might be able to help somehow, and Rena was really sharp, so she might have a good suggestion. And above all, we needed to rescue Satoko once again, with everyone helping out. I felt pathetic for letting myself fall asleep. I'm sorry, Satoko. That's rough. Jeez. The ceiling blurred into view. It was hot. There was a thin layer of moist sweat on me. The voices of the cicadas permeating my room were somehow grating to my head. Yeah, I think that's about the reaction he's about to get is, what the fuck? I remember today was a weekday and quickly brought myself to consciousness, and then finally I leaped out of bed. The clock read a little before 10. I was totally late. Then I wandered downstairs. My mom would get mad at me. And there was nothing I could do, though. After reviewing the schedule for school day for a moment, I suitably rearranged the stuff in my bag. I hurried and got dressed and went down the stairs. There was no sign of my parents anywhere. Maybe they went out somewhere together. That's how it was. My mother had probably woken me up once this morning, but then I fell back asleep without remembering it. And my parents, thinking I'd gone to school, left. Something like that probably happened. I went to the front door, and as I expected, it was locked. Looked like I was right, and the further evidence of my speculation being correct. When I realized my parents weren't here, I suddenly felt less like I had to rush to get to school. There was one portion of breakfast left in the dining room, probably mine. The milk they'd poured in it had gone warm since a while ago. When I realized how hard it would be to sneak food for Satoko yesterday, I had cried. Well, thinking back on it, food wasn't the only issue in that regard. I wasn't in a position where I could bargain for Satoko by myself anyway. It was such a heavy thing to just save a single person. I'd seen this on TV and comics all the time, those feel-good words about how you'll save your friends for sure and such. Was that why I ran my mouth like that, swearing to save her, because I wanted to feel good about it? No, that absolutely wasn't true. Because the fact was, I couldn't save her, because I didn't want to think like an adult, like I couldn't do anything but watch. Had Satoko gone to school today, I immediately realized that was a meaningless question. Whether or not she did, there wouldn't be a change in the environment she'd been placed in. If I couldn't save her, and no one else could either, then we could only pray for a miracle.
俺たちは無力か。
With the vague goal of getting to school in mind, I sluggishly put my shoes on and stumbled out of the door. I had only ever slept by 2 or 3 hours, but the sunlight and the air felt completely different from how they usually were in the morning. Well, of course they did. Once 10 o'clock came around, you could barely call it morning anymore. I didn't feel like walking the same old route to school. I needed to ultimately end up there, but it was like I didn't want to choose the shortest route, the most proactive one, to get to school. Put in a more positive light, maybe I wanted some time to walk by myself and think. I had to get to school, partly to make sure Satoko was safe, but I hadn't come up with any plans yet. Nothing since last night. So the path I took from my house was in a complete opposite direction. If I went this way, I'd pass Rena's house and the dam site. It could be quite a detour. I calculated how long of a detour it would end up being, then, satisfied with the answer, I started to walk. Rena had brought me to the dam site a few times. One section of it had turned into an unlawful oversized garbage dump, and Rena really liked going fishing it for junk in there. Without that, she'd come off as a completely normal girl too. I can think of a few other qualities she could do without, but whatever. You can't take away her treasure hunting. It gives her reason. It's her raison d'etre. The reason? Okay. The view quickly opened up wide, and I was hit by a strong wind. There was no shelter. There was the big dam. Maybe it was a good thing I came here, though. At the very least, it was more healthy to think about stuff in this place like this, stuff in a place like this instead of my cramped bedroom. I took a deep breath and filled my lungs with the rich, cold air unique to Hinamizawa. Ring, ring! I turned around reflexively. It was a bicycle bell. Considering where I was standing, I didn't think they would be trying to get me out of the way. They'd rang the bell because they wanted something from me. Yes, she is absolutely... Oh, you! Hey, you! Hi, hey. Oh, boy. Fancy meeting you here. Just fantastic. You're from Hinamizawa, right? Yes, why? I've seen this person around a few times. Right, I remembered. His name, I think, was Tomitake, a freelance photographer who lived in Tokyo. He would zealously visit Hinamizawa every season to take pictures, or so Mio and the others told me, I think. He is pretty hunky. I mean, get a load of it. I mean, how could you not just be all up on... with his little Fisher-Price yellow camera. Very silly looking. Kodak moment. I knew where everything was in my head, but explaining how to get there was difficult. The bulge line. I was a little irritated at having been bothered for this, but when I realized it meant my detour actually meant something, that feeling faded quickly. Tomitake-san finally appeared to have realized how strange it was for a student like me to be here at this time of day. I smoothly told him not to worry about it, then turned my back and started walking towards the Furude shrine. Tomitake-san hurried to turn his bike around and came after me. He clawed his way to the top of the photography world. What a free-minded freelancer! It was easier for me too that he was under that impression. I am Tomitake, a freelance photographer. I specialize in wild birds and landscapes. It would be pretty unknown, though. I'm still pretty unknown, though. It seemed absurd for him to introduce himself when I was just showing him to the shrine, but he gave me his name, so I needed to give mine back. I'm Maibara. Pleased to meet you, I guess. Maibara-kun, pleased to meet you. He seemed like a pretty silly man, but felt like good. But it felt kind of good considering I'd been suffocating with worry over Satoko all night. Along the way, Tomitake-san spoke at length to me about how precious nature in Hinamizawa was and how it was a treasure trove of rare wild birds despite my having not asked. I wasn't interested in what he had to say, but he seemed to be enjoying himself, so I left him to it.
この石段を上がれば神社の境内です。
ありがとう。
I know, right? This game's just full of good. There's equal opportunity for everyone. Lots of good boys and girls.
助かったよ。ああ、ちょっと遅刻しちゃったかな。
I mean, where's Takano, the goodest of the girls? We haven't seen her yet. She was a very good girl last arc. You might even say she was a hot little number last arc. Hey! Tomitake-san mumbled to himself and left his bicycle nearby and started to climb the stairs quickly. I didn't have a watch, but as far as my internal clock could guess, it was still a little late in the morning. School wasn't very far from here. Maybe I could kill a little more time until then. With that in mind, I went up the steps in pursuit of Tomitake-san. When I reached the top of the staircase, I arrived in the wide open shrine grounds that were too grand looking for this tiny village. Tomitake-san. Oh, there he is. It looked like he was supposed to be meeting someone here. Yeah, then he got lost and ended up being late. He was bowing to a lady who must have been the person he was meeting. Oh, good. 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 That lady. I knew her. Hey, guess who it is? Guess who it is?
あら、前原くんじゃない。
All the good people are showing up. Fantastic. Hey, where's Cop? Let's get him here too. Why not? Let's just get the whole club together. The Club of Bad Omens. Let's get everybody here. Shion, where you at?
こんにちは。今日は学校はお休みかしら？
あれ？なんだ、ケイチ君ついてきたのかい？
別にそんなつもりはないですよ。ただちょっと時間つぶしがしたかっただけです。
あらあら。
Are we gonna kill time at the shrine? It's probably a good idea for us to kill time here, right?
重役出勤とは優雅なものね。さすがは有名人。今から大物ぶりを発揮してること。
What was I, a celebrity? Well, she did say my name out of nowhere anyway. I was oddly concerned about what she meant by famous.
あら、私の名前はまだ思い出せない？
高野美代さんだよ。村の診療所に勤めてる。ケイチ君は健康そうだからあまり病院のお世話にはならないかな。
せっかくお知り合いになれたんだから、今度病気か何かできたらちょっぴりだけサービスしてあげようかしらね。
Special treatment. This lady named Takano-san, I kinda didn't remember her. Maybe we passed each other on the street a few times, but I was pretty sure this was the first time we'd talked. Well, this is Hinamizawa. Even if I didn't know a person's name, it's not unusual for them to know mine. I glanced at Takano-san and saw she had a big bag and a
ひょっ
camera.
として二人とも写真仲間ですか？あ、それで待ち合わせを。
仲間でなんてとんでもない。素人の私に二郎さんが優しくてほどきをしてくださるだけなのよ。ねえ。
ん？そんなことないよ。高野さんは飲み込みが早いからね。僕の指導なんかなくても実に自由に撮影をこなすよ。本当さ。
I couldn't tell which of them was ahead in the conversation. Well, they were certainly one couple you wouldn't get tired of
いよい
watching.
よあさってが綿流しね。
Yo, we got festival coming up, everybody.
今年はいい写真が撮れるといいんだ
Yeah,
け
let's
ど。
take some good pictures on the festival night. That's gonna be a real good time, I
明
bet.
日の設営シーンからレンズに収めるつもりだよ。 そういう準備風景からもお祭りの活力を捉えたいんだ。
Oh, I just remembered. There was some village festival called Watanagashi or something the other day. The day after tomorrow, on
ひな
Sunday.
み沢の守り神お社様に感謝するため
Who's hyped
古い
for
布団を積み重ねて供養
Watanagashi?
するそんなお祭りでしたっけ？
I know chat's hyped for Watanagashi. They can't wait.
あら、ご名答。前原くん、引っ越してきたばかりにしては博識ね。そう、お社様に感謝するためのお祭り。
Like, good things happen at Watanagashi. We have contests with our friends. We help the stands with our very good advertising ability. Like, it's gonna be fun. Takara-san smiled somehow meaningfully, but didn't tell me what part of a festival to thank Oyashiro-sama needed to be laughed at.
やれやれ、高野さんは。
John's
Well,
very hyped for
hold on, man.
Watanagashi. That's good. I'm pretty. Yet Jetstorm is like, yeah, we're ready.
2度あることは3度ある。そしてもう4度あったのよ。
Uh-oh! Hey, it's already happened 4 times,
5度目
everybody!
がないと言える方が何の根拠もないと思うけれど。
This is probably a good line of conversation for us to be having. I knew what they meant with their whispered exchange. On the day of Watanagashi, a freak death always occurs, which people call Oyashiro-sama's curse, and a disappearance occurs that people call being demoned away. These strange events had happened 4 years running, and Watanagashi, rapidly approaching the day after tomorrow, marked the 5th. I like that they kind of expedite this process a little more every chapter. Like, they make it, like, so it's like, okay, he's already familiar. We don't have to keep going over it. Yeah, like, that's they definitely, like, now you're definitely on the side of, like, okay, I know who needs to be fucked up. I know who this curse needs to
裏の旧
visit.
敵にたたりをなすお社様か。
Again, like, Ryukishi is so good at taking this one concept and finding so many different ways to fucking flip it. To make you feel entirely different about it every time.
今年もあるとして、
And that's what I find to be kind of one of the most fascinating parts of this series, is that it continues to hinge on the same lore, it hinges on the same mechanics, really, but he's very good at writing the circumstances around it in a way to keep it very exciting.
再戦を入れてる。僕じゃないことは確かだよ。
あらそう。近年のお社様は異邦人には特に厳しいって話を。引っ越してきたばかりとはいえ、前原くんはちゃんとひなみ沢に住んでる村人だけど、二郎さんは毎年来るだけのただのよそ
Whoa!
者。
Don't go doing that. Don't go foreshadowing my boy's death.
今年
He ain't
は
done
見逃
nothing
し
to
てもらえ
nobody.
るかしら。
ひどいな。
That's mean, Takano. Don't do that. Tomitake-san was the only one with a pained grin, but we were all smiling, me included. Oyashiro-sama, the one who used a curse to kill people involved with the dam construction project, one after the next. He killed the dam construction manager, killed Satoko's parents for supporting it, and the next year even killed her aunt. If the demoning away was a part of the curse, then you could add Satoshi to that list of victims. As I thought about it, I realized that in the serial freak death incidents, the overwhelming majority had the last name Hojo. Half of the deaths and disappearances had come from the Hojo family. The Hojo family lived here in Hinamizawa. Did that mean Oyashiro-sama punished and cursed them particularly harshly because despite that, they had been in favor of the dam?
Satokoのおじが帰ってきたって話は聞いてますか？
Takano-san, who had been enjoying a few words with Tomitake-san, was caught unaware by my sudden inquiry.
あ、ごめんなさい。今なんて？
あ、いえ、Satokoの両親がたたり殺されて、おばもたたり殺されて、だったら順番的には次はおじの番かなって思ったんです。
Hmm.
去年のたたりでおばが無残な死に方をし、それに恐れをなして町に逃げていたやつですよ。お社様は確か村を捨てて逃げ出そうとするのは許さなかったですよね。
Keiichi's got some big old polythink going on right now. I hadn't intended to be quite this persistent, but those words, they just flowed out of my mouth without me thinking about it. Right. Oyashiro-sama's curse. I didn't believe in something so unrealistic, of course, but the fact was that every year, unfortunate accidents and incidents happened to enemies of the village. Like Takano said just now, it happened 4 times. No one could say there wouldn't be a 5th. There we go. He's big thinking now.
ふーん、面白い説ね。確かに過去の犠牲者を見れば北条姓が多いのは事実。その延長として考えれば、
What does Goroshi mean?
今年は叔父が死ぬか
Goroshi
消えるかする
means
可能性は
killing.
否めないわね。
So Tatarigoroshi. The title of the chapter is literally curse killing. You bought a font called Polyrounded.
もう高野さんは起こるかもしれない不幸を笑うのは良くないよ。
ごめんなさいね。でもお社様のたたりは私のライフワークだし。
Oyashiro-sama's curse is your life's work. Dude, what? Takano-san gave off a mysterious look, somehow an intellectual impression, and her life's work was mysterious in its own right. She probably really liked inexplicable supernatural phenomena or
高野
something.
さんはお社様のたたりに詳しそうですね。どうでしょう、北条の帰ってきた叔父がたたりに会う可能性は。
Thomas think.
あら何？そのおじさんを殺したくて仕方がないみたいね。
Ooh, she's staring him. She's just like looking so like that boy is like transparent as as your cling wrap you got in your fridge right now.
そんなんじゃないです。
どうだろうね。神様の気まぐれ次第だからね。
前原くん、サンタクロースの正体は知ってる？
Yo, Santa Claus! Awesome! That's Kris Kringle! Huh? I got a strange question all of a sudden and I couldn't immediately answer. Yo! That's a cool... Yo! She gets her own cool CG? Nice!
Papa よ。
It's your daddy.
みんなの家のパパ。
なんだ、そういう意味ですか。そりゃそうですよ。どんなものの正体だって最終的には人間です。だってここは人間しかいない世界なんですから。全ての現象は人間で解明できるはずです。
I'm sorry if anybody in chat just got spoiled on the nature of Santa Claus. I'm sorry about that. I didn't know that was coming. But yeah, somebody want to ban Higurashi for that? We don't need any spoiling in chat, please. I felt like I put it somewhat strangely, but Takano-san was not as dissatisfied with the reply as I might have guessed.
その年齢のうちからそれに気づけるなんてなかなかね。人間の世で起こる現象は全て人間の都合で人間が起こす。では前原くん、もう一度尋ねるわよ。今度はサンタクロースじゃなくてお社様。お社様のたたりの正体は何かわかるかしら？
Uh-huh. Takano-san took a step towards me and gazed into my eyes as she asked, Santa Claus was really the parents of every family's children. If lionizing that legend was a corporate tactic to try and profit during Christmas sales, then what was Oyashiro-sama exactly? Ma'am, are you telling me to do a
あなたが言
murder?
ったのよ。ここは人間しかいない世界だって。すべての現象は人間で解明できるって。
Again, I love her voice actress. She's very good at making everything she says sound as maximum creepy. Or really sleepy.
圭一君
Like, she got those real sleepy eyes. Like, she just smoked a fat bowl and is really feeling it right now.
ここだけの話だよ。高野さんはね、お社様のたたりをめぐる一連の連続開始事件をね、ひなみ沢の村人が
Well,
何
that
かの儀式
sucks.
に基
Sorry
づ
to
い
hear
て
about that
行って
after
いる
5.
人為的殺人事件でないか。
Do feel better.
誤解しないでね。私はそれに至る教義や思想、文化を民族学的見地から研究することがライフワークなの。別に犯人が誰かなんてことには全く興味がないのよ。そこだけ勘違いしないでちょうだいね。
I could tell at least that she was saying some crazy stuff. If I were to liken her statements to a meal, it would be sort of like she had just tried to stuff a whole plate of duck into my mouth and I couldn't say anything. My mind just instantly got this mental image of her stuffing an entire live duck into Keiichi's big fat open mouth. And I'm dying. With her big, dopey, sleepy eyes, like she's not forcing it at all, she's just casually doing it.
そもそもそれを理解するためには、ひなみ沢村が鬼ヶ淵村と呼ばれていた古代にまで遡らなければならない。鬼と血を交わらせたと信じる半人半鬼の仙人たちが。
Don't stuff a whole jet into your mouth. I mean, depending on the situation, maybe you want to. That's fine. I'm not gonna criticize. Takano-san, having entered her home field, leaned forward and began to speak of ridiculous matter. Tomitake-san realized she was overawing me and interrupted for me. Overawing? I've not seen that word, but I like it.
高野さんその話をいきなり圭一君にしても
Also, yeah, like, despite the fact that we're obviously getting into, like, the darker, murdery past of Hinamizawa, it's nice to kind of get a little bit of levity from the last two chapters, because Jesus Christ, that was hard.
あら、そう？続きに興味があったらいつでも言ってね。前原くんくらいの年頃の男の子が好きそうな猟奇的なお話がてんこ盛
She
りなん
wants
だ
to
から。
tell grotesque stories to boys Keiichi's age.
ありがとうございます。
John would be at that office every single day, like at lunchtime. Boys skipping lunch, going right to Takano's office. Yo, tell me more about death murders and guts being pulled out. It'd be great. I want to hear about it.
気が向いたらそのうちに。
For now, I softly gave my refusal. Takano-san seemed a little unhappy that Tomitake-san had rained on her parade, but she stopped talking about it then. Even so, it was still a very interesting story that Oyashiro-sama's curse, which we thought of as strange freak deaths, were really homicides perpetuated by people of the
まあ
village.
その
Yeah, like you would be like, I don't know, I kind of think a lot of us would at that age. Like, I kind of like, because like I always kind of had a fascination with like dark shit. I mean, God, I remember one of the dumb, like, we had to draw a picture in kindergarten. It was for some dumb, like, you had to draw an image that told a story, like, but you couldn't use words or something like that. And like mine was like the story of people that went into a cave, got lost and died. And I remember the teacher talking to my parents about it, being like, you know what, your kid just wrote, they told a story about people going to their deaths. So it's like, so yeah, like Tomitake-san would probably, or Takano-san would probably
たたりなんかで
be somebody that I would make some time to talk to.
誰かがたたりになぞらえて殺してるに決まってます。
そうね。それが誰なのかは研究しない方が無難ね。
Yeah, so like I've just kind of always had a thing for dark stories or pulling from that kind of stuff, like, and it just never went away. I wrote some story in 4th grade about somebody becoming trapped under ice and like their last 5 minutes of life. Got in trouble for that one. Yeah, like I was a weird kid, I guess, now that I think about it. I never really thought about it, but I guess things like her lullaby make sense now.
高野さんは知ってそうですね。証拠はないまでも確信を持っているくらいには。
あら、どうしてそう思うのかしら。
I just kind of felt it vaguely. It didn't seem like her extreme passion for this research could be explained just by these things being taboo or being safe and easy. This person loved walking through the profound, forbidden abyss of risks and taboos.
それくらいにしなよ、ケイイチ君。せっかく助けてあげたのに。
That was pretty cool.
お社様の
The deep polylore, yeah, yeah.
涼しいうちに散策に行きたかったのにな。
Tomitake-san seemed a little disappointed not to be able to go on the date he'd planned since I had brought up the weird topic. But right now, there was something I wanted to ask just for a little bit. And that was about whether Satoko's uncle will be chosen for the curse this year. If he was, then another miracle would happen, just like last year. A terrible incident would happen again, but it would release Satoko from her unfortunate circumstances once more.
まあ、もちろんおそらくあの辺りの人たちが関わってるんだろうなっていう憶測は持ってるわよ。鬼ヶ淵村の歴史を研究していれば自然と至る必然的結末。
それは誰です？
What would I do if I knew? I asked that question to the other me deep inside, but got no reply.
熱心ね。それを知ってどうするつもりかしら？
別に。
知ったらあなたにも危険が降りかかるかもしれないわよ。5年目のたたりはあなただったりして。
Takano-san, toying with taboo, gave a devilish, satisfied smile as though nothing in the world would be more amusing. She was probably trying to tease me, but I didn't feel like going along with her little game one bit.
偉そうな能楽とも
Yeah, Kate, you could really use a morphogenetic field right about now.
よくは分かってないみたいじゃないですか。
I had felt a tinge of irritation at Takano-san's roundabout way of speaking, but those emotions escaped my mouth like water flowing through a strainer. Even I was surprised how directly I had spoken out about what I felt. Of course, I wasn't the only one taken aback.
あら、言ってくれるわね。坊やなのに挑発までできるの？意外に野生的ね。嫌いじゃないわよ、そういうの。
Takano-san's tongue poked out of her mouth as I was convinced that it was a long, thin, and split in the middle like a snake's. Well, John's even more enamored now. Jesus. Way to just seal the deal. Way to just seal the deal. Right? There we go. There you go. That's my bit of weirdness for one stream.
ならいいわ。教えてあげてもよくってよ。でも教えてあげる前に3つ誓ってもらうわ。私が何を教えても後悔しない。 口外しない。私が言ったなんて絶対言わない。
This is a very strict and understandable set of rules. I think we can comply. I gulped firmly and nodded. Tomitaki-san made an exaggerated expression of distress, gave a dry, vague smile, and lit a
教えてく
cigarette.
ださい。タタリを下しているのは誰です？たたる相手を選んでいるのは誰なんです？
And after I said that, I finally realized why I wanted to know. Oh, I know why he wants to know. I bet Chat knows why he wants to know. Many of my classmates were playing freely in the schoolyard. A few of them had run out of the school building after putting on their shoes and tapping their toes to the ground. It looked like they had finished eating lunch. From a time manipulating standpoint, I guess I succeeded. That's a real good cut, yeah. Like, that's really good.
大丈夫なんですか？
A few girls noticed me and came running over. It was only natural they were worried. You'd think if someone wasn't there in the morning, they'd be out the rest of the day.
まあその遅刻さ気にしないでくれ。それよりサトコはどうだ？今日は来てるか？
The girls exchanged glances. I saw a thin shadow fall over their faces and knew the answer without needing to hear them reply. Satoko was absent today too. When all was said and done, after being out for 3 days, she'd only come back for 1, and now she was out again. Who knew if she would come tomorrow?
でも、さとこちゃんから電話があったって先生言ってました。風邪って言ってたよね。みんな家に帰ったらうがいをちゃんとしましょうって先生言ってました。
Wait a minute, Chie-sensei. That's a little too thick-headed, don't you think? You're a teacher, aren't you? Why can't you be more sensitive and catch on to the fact that your pupil is sending out an SOS? But even if she did, there was nothing we could hope for. The most she could do was a home visitation. She didn't have any right to take Satoko from her uncle into safety. No matter the result, it would end up just like the public agencies, with a wait-and-see attitude. It would just piss Satoko's uncle off, and her suffering would only grow deeper. Then wasn't saying she had a cold the best option?
みんなも風邪に気をつけろよ。もう行っていいぜ。昼休みはまだ長いぞ。
Wear masks, you damn brats! The girls excitedly scattered into the schoolyard.
ケイチくん！
Rena was yelling out the classroom window, waving her hand. A moment later, Mion and Rika-chan poked their heads out too.
ケイチまでお休みしましたから、とても心配しましたのですよ。でもよかった。顔色もそんなに悪くないし、とりあえず元気そう。
I felt a little uncomfortable with her saying that I didn't look sick, but I didn't care that much.
どうしたの？寝坊？
遅刻は遅刻だろ。それとも電車の事故で遅刻したとでも言えば許してくれるのか？
寝坊？
Mion was being a bit persistent. Was she going to put on her club president cap and scold me for being late? Well, maybe she didn't have it. Maybe she didn't have it in for me, but so I briefly stated that she was right.
まだね、お弁当あるよ。みんなで食べよう。やっぱりね、ケイチくんがいないと盛り上がらないよね。
サトコは休みなんだな。
Even Rena, feigning cheerfulness, couldn't stand to hear that, and her face darkened.
朝、電話があったらしいよ。風がぶり返したから、また休むってさ。長引くかもしれないって言ってた。かわいそうなので、みんなでお見舞いに行こうという話が出ていますのですよ。
何言ってんだよ、リカちゃん。
Not pleased with Rika-chan wearing a wide smile as though it was a happy occasion, I threw cold water on her. Damn, dude!
サトコが風邪なんかじゃないことは俺たちが一番知ってるだろう。たとえ冗談でも二度とそういう白々しいことを言うな。 次は怒るからな。
Rika-chan furrowed her brow, looked down, and mumbled an apology.
圭一くんだけじゃないよ。みんな辛いよ。
俺だけが悩んでるなんて思ってない。でもみんな何もできないのは本当だろ。
それはそうだけど。でも
I got a feeling that would cause another fight if this exchange went on. Yeah, that was literal. So I apologize first.
謝るから今の話は忘れてくれ。辛いのはみんなも同じだよな。
It was at least clear, however, that I was the only one who had worried so much about rescuing her. He was the only one, man. That's sad. At the very least, everyone else probably got the normal amount of sleep last night. Probably had good dreams, too. They definitely hadn't stayed up all night thinking so desperately. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
投稿してきていきなりこんなこと聞いて気を悪くするかもしれないけど。
Yo, dolls! Thank you for big old fat host. Welcome, friends of dolls and dolls himself. You wonderful, wonderful people. How did Zelda treat you today? Duels. How did everything go? Fat host. It's a big old host. A ginormous host. A ginormously generous host. Yo, it's Josh. How's it going, Josh? We're reading a visual novel. This chapter is about child abuse. It's not very fun. So there's that. I don't know how to make a topic like that entertaining, so we all just kind of got to take it on the chin, unfortunately. Zelda treated you well, but the Sky Temple place was just kind of... you see, I kind of find that to be the case with a lot of Twilight Princess, in that I like its premise, I like its aesthetics, but, man, I think a lot of that game is real boring, unfortunately. But yeah, we're dealing with some weird child abuse. It's unfortunate. And our boy Keiichi, he thinks he's the only one that cares. And it's real awkward. So yeah, no way I can make that entertaining, so we just gotta let it wash over us. Oh yeah, all the waiting. Yeah.
ケイちゃん、今日遅刻したよね。サトコが今日欠席したこととは関係ある？
は？
Yeah, like I think that is a game that's got some very good moments in it.
Mio, お前、何の話
And
して
again,
るんだ？
I really, really like its aesthetic. The hours of Dungeon Hell aren't fun though. Like they're very, like, hey, you got the one item you need for this dungeon, now go do the thing, and that's the only time you'll ever use the item.
ケイちゃんはたまにちょっとつ盲信なところがあるからね。今朝サトコと一緒にケイちゃんも休んだ時、サトコを家から連れ出してどこかにかくまったんじゃないかって。
Don't tell anybody that he was considering that. Easy for you to say. If I could have, I'd have done that last night. None of them really thought about how difficult that clear-as-day solution was. I was up thinking all night, thinking until the night was brightening, and then I concluded that I couldn't do anything of the sort.
バカかお前。人間一人かくまうなんてできるもんかよ。
そうだね。ごめん。気を悪くしたなら謝るよ。
別にいいよ。それより飯にしようぜ。腹が減ってんだ。
Alright, dolls, you have yourself a nice evening. Enjoy your family shows. Thanks again for the host. It's very much appreciated. And yeah, like to all folks that are hanging around, this is Higurashi When They Cry. It is a psychological horror visual novel with a lot of heart that tackles some pretty heavy issues. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to explain a lot of what's going on, given that we're kind of 3 games deep now. But it's you stick around long enough, you'll get the general idea. This game is about feelings. I took my bento box out of my bag. Everyone moved to take a spot for me to sit.
前原君、
And now the teacher's going to destroy us for being
今
late.
来たんですか？
あ、はい。遅刻してすみません。寝坊しまして。
What the heck? Even the teacher was giving me that strange look.
お弁当を食べたら、院長と前原君は職員室に来てください。ち
Uh-oh, we're in
ょっ
trouble.
とお話がありますので。
Probably about Satoko, I thought. Since I left at that and went back into the hallway.
弁当を食うまでもないだろう。行こうぜ、ミオ。
そうだね。
Mion and I exchanged looks, nodded at each other, and got up.
さとこちゃんの話だろうね。
No doubt about it. They were saying she had a cold, but everyone in class knew the truth. I didn't think that wouldn't have reached the teacher's ears by now.
僕がずっととぼけるので、僕に聞くのをやめたのでしょう。
Oh, Rika, it's okay. You don't play dumb. Revealing the truth that the teacher would only worsen the situation. Was that why she hadn't said anything? Or was it because she was Satoko's friend and knew that she was what she was trying to endure, the trial of her uncle's abuse, in order to get her brother to come home?
どうする？今のうちに私たちなりの統一見解を出した方がいいかもね。
リカちゃんはどうしたい？
み
Satoko's closest and best friend was Rika-chan. However much I pretended to be her Nini, I couldn't come as close to the amount of time they'd spent together, so I felt her opinion should be held in the highest regard.
俺はサトコがどうしておじにいじめられてるのを。
That is exactly what I said, John. Rika is dumb. Everyone looked startled and turned to me. Look at her dumb bobblehead. She looks like a damn bobblehead. See, that made sense as a thing to say on stream.
でも結局そのせいで兄が逃げてしまったんだとサトコは思ってる。
I mean, look at her. Look at her big dumb head. It's big and dumb.
誰に聞いたのかな。
監督か。
Can't dunk on Satoko anymore, so we're dunking on Rika now. Exactly. That won't bite us in the ass at all. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
サトコはおじのいじめに耐えれば兄が帰ってくると信じることによって今を耐え抜こうとしているのかもしれない。でもそんな思い込みとサトシが帰ってくるのは全く無関係なことだ。
Exactly. You can't dunk on Rena because she's just
サトコ
cute.
には悪いがそれが現実だ。
And you can't dunk on Mion because she's been through too much. Last chapter was a bit much. Everyone hung their heads. Everyone was thinking the same
サトコ
thing.
は多分誰の助けも喜ばない。自分一人の力で耐え忍びたいと思ってる。でもそれを尊重してやるのが果たして正しいだろうか。
Just Rika and her dumb bobblehead. Yeah, you can't dunk on Shion because Shion's literally perfect.
俺は思わない。一時サトコに恨まれることになろうとサトコの意志にかかわらず助けるべき時があると思う。俺はそれが今じゃないかと思ってる。
Damn. Damn, John. I told them all about what I saw and how I felt I went to Satoko's house yesterday.
圭一君は話すべきだと思ってるってことだね。
もちろん 公的機関への通報で聡子が保護されるのが確定してからだ。その確認のないうちは聡子をかえって危険にさらすこともありえるからな。
難しいね。先生との会話の中でその確約ってのが取れるわけ？
I had no confidence, but we had to try. Meanwhile, Rika-chan her head raced for a while as if asking for an opportunity to
圭
speak.
一に任せますです。
いいのかいリカちゃん。
圭一はここにいる誰よりも聡子のことを考えていますです。その圭一が話すべき時だと判断したなら、僕は文句なんか言わないのですよ。
I don't know how I didn't just notice that Rika uses bokuwa rather than watashi.
あり
Interesting.
がとう。
Well, it doesn't really mean
Mio,
anything, but I
Sorry.
hadn't noticed that before. Mion seemed to hesitate, not knowing if she should agree. But when she saw Rita's firm nod, she made up her mind and did the
よし
same.
行くぞミオ。
Only Chie-sensei was in the teacher's lounge. We didn't see the principal anywhere. The schedule on the blackboard under the principal's name said, training, going straight home. Our principal's sense of justice was too strong. Satoko's problems wouldn't be solved with something so vague. Maybe it was a stroke of good luck that he wasn't here. When the teacher saw Mion and I come in, she closed up her curry bento, saving the rest for later.
そこへおかけなさい。
She told us to take a seat in the chairs directly in front of the principal's seat. I hadn't sat in this chair since doing the paperwork for transferring in. The two of us sat here uncomfortably before the teacher walked over, carrying a notebook and a ballpoint pen, sat in front of us.
前原くん、今日は午前中お休みでしたけど、何かありましたか？
すみません、寝坊です。
Why is there a genie lamp on the not genie lamp?
本当
That's interesting! I had not noticed this. Why is that there? Like, what other reason would that be there?
先生に嘘言っても。
She narrowed her eyes at me in suspicion. Now I was sure of it. She wanted to talk about
ま
Satoko.
ず二人とも知ってると思いますけど、お友達の北条さんがここしばらくお休みしてますね。
Neither Mion nor I had anything to say in response, but the teacher proceeded with not
何
minding.
か知っていますか？クラスで良くない噂をしている人たちがいます。
Mion looked down and remained silent as though she were being lectured. She sent me a quick glance. Everyone made up their minds. They'd be leaving things to me. Oh boy,
委員長、
it's all on him!
前原くんも。先生は別に怒ってるんじゃありませんよ。もしも知っていたら教えてほしいとお願いしているだけです。
先生、先にこっちから質問してもいいですか？
She must not have anticipated that response. She looked surprised.
クラス中で聡子のどんな噂が飛び交ってるかは知りませんが、仮にその噂が真実だったとして、先生はどうするつもりですか？
どうするもこうするも、その話が本当なら放っておけません。
放っておけないって、具体的にはどう放っておけないんですか？
Sensei's eyebrows shot up. Maybe it sounded like I was trying to pick a fight.
前原くん、先生は真面目にお話ししてるんですよ。
先生こそ、俺はすごく真面目な話をしているんです。まず答えてください。真実だったとしてどう放っておけないんです？
Sensei took a few breaths and began to speak slowly.
まず状況を確かめるために北条さんの家を家庭訪問します。
おじに怒鳴りつけられて追い返されるかもしれませんね。まあいいや、仮におじと聡子に会えたとします。それで
そして真意を聞きます。その事実が確認できたなら指導します。
Ooh, there's interesting little parallels
指導って
here.
曖昧な言い方はやめてください。具体的には何をするんですか？
Even despite my tone being so provocative, Chie-sensei bit back her emotions and listened calmly. I thought that she was a good teacher. Chie-sensei really did have her students' best interests at heart. But she didn't have the power or the authority to save Satoko. If she let her sense of justice run away with her, the situation could get more complex. This is a really good way to turn yesterday's scene on its ear. Ooh, this is real good. Sensei folded her arms. In a few moments, she closed her eyes as though mentally concentrating. And when they opened again, there was a strictness from her eyes I'd never seen before.
児童福祉法という法律があります。この法律で児童に対する虐待は何人に対しても認められていないことが明記されています。
らしいですね。それで
Yep.
沖宮の生活相談所へ通報します。さっき前原くんは追い返されると言いましたね。この相談所の職員は必要に応じて警察官を同行させることができます。恫喝には絶対に屈しません。
その福祉士というお役所の人は連絡して書類で申請して何日後に助けに来てくれるんです？
即日です。彼らの仕事は児童の安全を緊急に保護することですから。
知ってますよ。緊急性があると判断された場合ですよね。認められなかったら先生と同じ指導をして様子見をするんですよね。見てるだけ。聡子のおじの機嫌を悪くして聡子をその場に残したままそれっきり。
ケイちゃん、ちょっと言い過ぎ。
嘘はついてないだろ。去年だか一昨年だかに児童相談所が来た時がまさにそうだったんだろう。その結果どうなった？俺よりもミオや先生の方がよっぽどよく知ってるだろうが。
I had said too much. I didn't need Mion to tell me that. I was talking crazy and itching for a fight. I was supposed to be telling her about the situation only after I was sure we could save Satoko, but I basically told her everything right from the start. Chie-sensei looked at the clock, stood up, and picked up the phone at the
も
principal's
しも
seat.
し、内線の3455をお願いします。
Oh, damn.
いいの？ケイちゃん。本当に。
We just
大丈夫かな？
diving in, huh? Ooh, boy. It was too late. The dice had been cast. Now we could only pray.
お世話になっております。ひなみ沢文庫教諭の千恵と申しますが、指導室の渡辺主事はいらっしゃいますでしょうか？はい、ええ。ちょっと急用がございまして、至急校長と連絡が取りたいのですが。はい、お願いします。緊急とお伝えください。よろしくお願いします。
The teacher put down the phone and tilted her head back and forth to breathe, like I always did.
二人にもう一度だけ聞きます。クラスのみんなの噂は全て本当なんですね？
はい。俺は昨日聡子の家に行って実際にどういうことになっているのか見ました。
あとは先生に任せてください。聡子ちゃんはきっと先生が何とかします。
なんとか？いい加減なことを言わないでください。なんとかじゃない。絶対でなければならない。もしもまた様子見なんてことになったら先生はどう責任を取るつもりですか？
While I was yelling, the phone rang. Chie-sensei snatched the receiver
も
up
しもし。
first.
研修中申し訳ありません。はい、実は例の北条聡子さんの件でお話が。はい。
Sensei waved us away, telling us we could leave now. Mion went to leave, but I held my ground. I had a responsibility to make sure she stopped saying such vague, ambiguous things. If it didn't look like she was going to say something substantial, then I'd tell them the truth, even if I had to steal the phone from her.
はい。いえ、まだ相談所には。はい。まだ確認はしていませんが、クラスの子の話では相当な様子です。
He's trying so hard.
相当なんてもんじゃないぞ。 すぐにだ。今すぐ何とかしろ。通報するならどこへだっていい。でもな、もしも様子見なんてことになってみろ。ただじゃ済まさないからだ。
I yelled angrily at Sensei and the principal on the other end. I wanted to somehow, some way, convey to them just how dangerous her situation was right now.
それは分かっています。ちゃんと伝えますから。委員長、前原君を連れて教室に戻りなさい。あ、はい。行くよ、ケイちゃん。あとは先生たちに。
It really is, yeah, like this. Like, he's not being unreasonable here at all. Like, there's nothing unreasonable about the way he's acting. Like, in the situation that he is in the situation that his friend is in, this is his only option. This is the only way you can act in this situation.
絶対だぞ。
Until the very last moment, I glared at Sensei. Chie Sensei was being pressured by the likes of me. Idiot, this isn't the time to feel pressured. Now's the time when you give me a firm nod that'll set my mind at ease. Even so, we've already left things in her hands. At this point, we really can't do anything but pray. Leon shut the door to the teacher's lounge. We got article and stats from the Ministry of Health and Welfare. That's a beefy scene, absolutely. Like, again, like, handling big scenes like that and making them feel grounded and real, it's uncomfortable, but it's how you make a story like this authentic and show it that you're actually dealing with these issues in a mature and substantial way. And that, again, I think keeps this game being really commendable for that, treating these issues like they're a real thing and not being just exploitative about it or using it to draw drama. Yep, tomorrow's probably going to be some real business, huh? I already feel it. Article 2, Definition of Child Abuse. The term child abuse means the following acts committed by a custodian, meaning a person who exercises parental authority, a guardian of a minor, or a person who is currently engaged in the custody of a child. Hereinafter, the same shall apply against a child. Meaning of a person who is under 18 years of age. Hereinafter, the same shall apply. 1. Assault a child in a manner that will cause or is likely to cause external injury to the body of a child. 2. Engage in indecency against a child or cause a child to engage in indecency. 3. Substantially reduce the amount of food for the child or abandon and neglect the child for a long time period in a manner that may interfere with the normal development of the child mentally or physically or otherwise materially fail to perform the duty of a custodian. Or 4. Speak or behave in a manner that would be significantly traumatic to the child. Article 3, Prohibition of Child Abuse. No person shall abuse a child. Act number 82 of 2000, authored by the Ministry of Health and Welfare. And again, like you mentioned yesterday, that he'd worked in government work, and to have this stuff here is very, very important. Because again, this needs to be. Again, not only are you using it as part of your story, but I think you're bringing awareness to it, and I think that he realizes that it's not just a play thing that he's putting in to pull drama out. Okay, year 19-something. Principal abusers in cases reported to the Ministry of Health and Welfare. Total 5,352. Mother by blood 2,943, 55%. Mother not by blood 203, 3.8%. Father by blood 1,445, 27%. Father not by blood 488, 9.1%. Year 19XX. The instances, type of abuse in cases reported to the Ministry of Health and Welfare. Total 5,352. Physical abuse 2,780, 51.9%. Neglect and abandonment of a child 1,728, which is 32.3%. Psychological abuse 458, 8.6%. Forbidden from going to school, 75, 1.4%. Sexual violence, 311, 5.8%. Why'd you gotta put the picture of Satoko there? Alright. I know that's a bit short for us tonight, but I think we're going to go ahead and call it there. And we'll be back again tomorrow night. About the same time, probably 8 o'clock. We'll be back. We'll do more Higurashi tomorrow night. Thanks everybody for coming out, of course. It's always a pleasure, even when things are really rough to deal with. But I'm sure tomorrow it's going to be just as rough. So we'll be here and we'll all get through it together. So thanks everybody for coming out. I'm going to look for somebody to throw you all on over to, and we'll catch you again tomorrow night.